Welcome to Session 9 of The Lost Tower of Xirus, a 2d20 Conan actual play featuring the Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop from Nerd Eye Industries. Disclaimer that this is a beginner game, mostly beginner. I mean, we've been going for a little while now. But that means that some of the players are new to Conan, the 2d20 system, Fantasy Grounds, or all three. So there will be some instruction done during gameplay, and there will still be some mistakes made. This is an interactive campaign, meaning that those watching live can affect gameplay in an effort to keep this as error-free as possible. It is encouraged for you, the viewers, to point out GM rule errors. GM rules errors only. Players are okay. So when I make a rule error, just point it out, and I will reduce my doom pool by 1. Those watching also have the added opportunity to help out the PCs. So for 50 bits, you can give the group 1 momentum. This is over the normally allotted cap of 6. You could also award the GM Doom, but that never happens, so we might as well not even say it. So let's go ahead and get reacquainted with the players and the player characters. And we'll start with Varg.
Heck. Hello, my name is B. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda. And for this finale, this dramatic ending, I am playing Varg, the Himbo Barbarian. I might be from Asgard. A lot of things have happened, but mostly I am this close to fighting a wolf. And this is all Varg has wanted. Varg's dream is about to be realized.
Nice. Next we have Cornelia.
Hello, my name is Morgan. I'm playing Cornelia. You can find me on Twitter @This'llRaven. And poor Cornelia, she's had such a rough time of it so far, but she's so close to finding out the answers that she's been dreaming of for the last couple of years since her parents were killed in search of them.
All right. And next we have Adama.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Leslie. Find me online at Leslie GM Girl on Twitter. And tonight I'm going to be playing. Sorry, wrong person. I'm not playing Cornelia tonight.
That would be a twist.
I was going to say Adama from Corinthia. Cornelia. Just sing it out. Anyway, Adama is a noble warrior who, in this particular adventure, it has been something of a family affair. We have met her mother, her aunt, maybe her dad. I'm not really sure about that. Was he there? We're not sure. And they have led us on this wild adventure. And the conclusion tonight, well, I'm really kind of just hoping that Adama survives. Maybe in one piece. We'll see.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have Kett.
Hello, everybody. Michael. You can find me at LoserMLW on Twitter. I am playing the role of Kett tonight for possibly the final time. We'll see. Kett is the old man of the group. He has known Cornelia since she was a child, and in fact knew her parents. And hopefully he can help her find the closure that she seeks.
Maybe the closure for everyone.
No pressure, Kett. Just solve all of our problems.
Right. It's all on you, Kett.
All of them.
Great.
All right. So
can I wear like an over the shoulder like onesie? Is that
sure.
Over the shoulder onesie.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
You have to go change into it now for reals, though.
Yeah. You gotta go. If we can find a little place I can like swip, like a bush I can go hide behind to put the himbo gear on.
Right.
Sounds good.
All right. So last time, deep within the Karpash Mountains is a valley forgotten in time. It is there that the titanic spire of rock known as the Lost Tower of Xirus has sat for thousands of years. The heroes have traveled the fabled Road of Skulls, defeated a cult of crazed monks whose ancestral duty was to keep outsiders from reaching the tower. They even faced a nightmare plant creature in a foul pool that bore fruit that encased living captives. Now they descend into the bowels of the tower to stop a fool from unleashing an ancient weapon capable of terrible destruction. So we will open with Varg. Having
Oh no.
having vanquished the hellish plant, they were caught up in the thing's death throes and borne down into the watery source of the plant's power. So Varg, you awaken from just, I mean, you weren't out for very long. It was just it was like a sharp drop. It wasn't like a slide or anything cool or anything like that. It was just
darn.
full on, just descent into darkness. And then you wake up, having like hit the ground. Well, you hit water and then float to dry ground. So you're in this like an underground grotto. The light from above, it's just barely enough that you can kind of see around you. And it is a horrible stench down here. Just like the worst compost heap that you've ever smelled. That's what this smells like. So, and you're like covered in it.
Reminds Varg of home. Varg was a sheep herder. This is nothing.
Right.
Yummy.
Yes.
I will try to wipe off some of the ick, though.
Right. So as
That water is probably not very fresh.
No, it's not. It certainly is not. And there's all kind of like vegetable matter and stuff just kind of floating in it, almost like kind of like seaweed, just kind of just sitting on top of the stagnant water.
Slimy.
Yes. And but the thing that you notice is that in this really, really dim light, at the very edge of your vision, you see what appears to be something of like a staircase or something like that off in the distance. Like I said, you kind of floated onto what appears to be solid ground, or maybe it's just a mass of this vegetable matter that's just kind of dried in one area. But beyond it, probably a good 30 or 40 feet from where you're laying, you can see what appears to be the makings of like a large step.
Varg would love to walk over there. Better than this place here. Might smell better over there, too.
Right. Okay. So as you're making your way over there, you get to the stair, and Varg's tall enough. They could, easily, like climb this staircase, but a smaller person like, say, Cornelia or something would have a really tough time because each stair comes to about your waist. So
Varg has good upper body strength as well.
Right. So, and from where you're at, you can also see that there is it's what you took as a staircase is probably more akin to a dais, and on top of it appears to be some sort of shaggy beast up there, and it's just like in a lump up on top of this dais.
Do they look like a wolf?
They look something like a wolf if a wolf was the size of an elephant.
Does anybody remember what the prophecy was? Am I supposed to let them sleep? Or, you know what? It doesn't matter. Varg doesn't remember, and I don't remember.
I think that the axe that has the wolf on it is kind of your lead in this one.
Oh, yes, that I remember. I wasn't sure if there was, like, I was supposed to shout anything beforehand, or can Varg just howl?
I don't recall the prophecy having a script.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is as you're making your way up, because like I said, it's not like you're just a normal stair. And like you said, you do have really good upper body strength. So what I'm going to say is for Varg to get up to the top of this dais and do whatever you want to do, it's going to take an athletics check, which is under your brawn. And it's going to be a DC 1. So you remember how to do that? Ah, yeah.
I think so.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 2 successes. So you generate.
Varg is tough.
There you go. You generate a point of momentum. And so there you go. And as you're springing up this dais to the top, the creature atop it shifts its weight, and as you're approaching it with your axe in hand, you can tell 2 distinct things. First and foremost, this is a massive Wolf would be the best way to describe it, although it's kind of mangy for a wolf. Although some wolves aren't necessarily the cleanest looking thing.
They're not all epic.
Yeah. So it's this, like I said, it's roughly the size of an elephant. But the main two things that you notice are, one, it has two heads, and the other thing is both of those heads have thick, silver chains around them, and the chains go down to the dais, and then there's this large, like a brass ring set into the top of this dais, and the chains, so essentially the chain goes around one neck, goes through the ring, and then up to the other one around its neck, and it just kind of shifts its weight as it reacts to like the sound of you coming.
Varg greets you. Ow!
All right, so you get up to it. How far away are you from it?
I mean, I'm definitely out of arm's paw's reach.
Out of paw's reach, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that you're seeing this thing full on and you can see its full glory, it actually has a power called. Let me pull up my tracker here. It has an ability, special ability called Monstrous Creature, I think is which one I'm looking at. Okay.
Sounds good.
Right? I'm not worried.
Let me look at one more thing here. Oh, here it is. Okay, it has a fear effect. So as you're approaching it, this alien form of it is just, and you've seen some scarier, weird things before, but this is definitely something that's not your usual scary or weird. So what this means is that because it has a fear effect, when a character sees a creature with a fear effect for the first time, like full on, you need to make a discipline check, and the difficulty is 2. So
Can I argue for a difficulty 1? Because I have been hyped to find this wolf for so long that my enthusiasm can overcome some of the pre-described fear.
Yes. That's fine. It's a DC 1 because you've been raised on the legend of this thing and all of that. So sure, there's that's fine. That is totally fine.
Because I'm not great at discipline.
Still got it, and generated a momentum.
Yes.
All right, so yes, and in game terms, what that means is that if you would have failed that, you would have actually taken mental damage from seeing it. So, and I do believe
Instead, I heal mental damage.
No, but everyone look at your character sheets, because if you recall, there was a big fight last time.
Yeah,
And-
I took some hits.
Yeah, so your vigor and your resolve are all back to maximum. That's the way that works. Now, some of you have traumas or wounds, and remember that always increases your target numbers by 1, unless you spend a fortune point to negate that penalty. So
And fortune points do not refresh.
Fortune points do not refresh, but because this is the finale, everyone gets another fortune point. So go ahead and add a fortune point to your character sheet.
I'm just going to go ahead and use that fortune point on my trauma.
That's
And
fine.
remove
That's
that.
perfectly fine. What I was going to say is, in looking at that from like a holistic thing, is your target number was 2, and you bargaining for the target number of 1 would have knocked that back down to 2. So you actually succeeded without generating the momentum, but using the fortune point, you generated the momentum. So
Gotcha.
if we were to retcon that, which we are not, but that's the way it would have gone. So.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, you see this creature, and it looks at you, and it doesn't look particularly menacing, other than it's just weird and scary looking, because it's a 2-headed like dog.
A two-headed dog the size of an elephant, you said, right?
Yes. So I mean, but it's not growling at you. It's not like baring its teeth at you. It's
Darn.
more just kind of looking at you in curiosity, or even, I mean, you don't have, you do have animal handling. Give me an give me an animal handling roll.
Difficulty what?
Let's say with your experience with wolves and hounds and things like that, we'll say it's difficulty 1. There you go. One success.
I got it. I can read this dog. It's a two-headed dog the size of an elephant.
Yeah. So as you're looking at it, you get the impression that this thing is beaten. It is not like physically beaten, but
Like
more
emotionally. Like
yeah.
it's
It's the fight is out of it. And it just kind of both heads just kind of turn and look at you, and you have this axe. One head looks at the axe, the other head just looks at you in the face, and then both of them just kind of nod their head as if willing, like almost like, go ahead, do it.
Varg is not impressed by this. Varg wanted a challenge. Varg has come so far for this. Will you at least wag your tail?
All right, one of the heads looks up at you and says to you in Nordheimer,
Dang.
"Are you here to slay us or not?"
Yes, Varg is. But this feels... And before he can finish the sentence, I want to walk up to that spot where it was like they were attached to the chain, like to the
the ring in the top, yeah. Okay.
I want to cut that.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's still a melee attack. You're trying to hew a brass ring the size of like your wrist. That's how big this thing is. So let's go ahead and make a melee attack. You can spend momentum on this if you wish. If you want to, because essentially what you're going to do is you're going to have to generate enough damage to break this ring, and it's not going to be easy. But for someone like Varg, you never know.
I mean,
Would it be easier to break the ring or the chain?
They're both essentially it's in game terms it's the same thing. It's going to be the same roll. Yeah. So whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I'll use the momentum.
Okay.
Sorry, difficulty.
Difficulty is you're just hitting a
1 for my melee.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a 0. It's so big. It's you can't miss it. It's just a matter of there you go. All right, so you certainly hit it. You generate 3 momentum.
Wow.
So now what I want you to do is
No, wait, I can't math. Sorry, ignore my clicking. Go ahead.
Okay. So now go ahead and roll your notched battle axe damage.
Oh, jeez. I love when they go flying.
All right, so you did a total of 6 damage. Now now this is one where the battle axe has a special ability of intense. So every one of those phoenixes that you rolled actually counts as 2. So instead of 6 points of damage, you did 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage.
Destroy the chain.
You need to do 12 points a day. So one.
Come on!
No. So the way that works is if you spend 1 momentum, you hew the ring completely in half for 1 momentum.
Wait, but I already spent 1 momentum.
You can spend as many as you want.
Okay, I'll spend another.
There you go. So yeah.
Do it.
So as this creature sitting there, you raise your axe up, and as you're doing it, like I said, it's very subservient. It actually it's reserved to its fate. Both heads drop down as if it's waiting for the killing blow, and then right between it, shatter the ring, and both the heads raise up like they weren't expecting that.
Varg will not fight a chained enemy.
All right, then one of the heads looks at you and then looks over at its companion and then looks back at you and says, "There is a fight to be had here. And if you, Aesir, can bring me low in this form, it will release me.
Varg nods
And then the real
enthusiastically.
fight can start.
Varg agrees.
But I will not. You have freed me from my bondage. But
Varg welcomes you.
I still have my fighting spirit. I will not go down easily."
Grips axe tighter.
All right, so we're going to cut to the other group right before that starts. So, what the rest of you now, if you recall, you were in the you're in this strange ruin that there was a pool, a nasty pool of water, and then the plant creature came out of it and had all of the pods along the sides, and then when the plant creature was killed, it kind of went down the drain, and Varg went with down into the drain. And then beyond it, right, and then beyond it, you see that there was a doorway and there is an actual staircase leading down. So wherever Varg went to, very likely that staircase also leads. So the question is, how are you going to go down? Are you going to take the staircase, or are you going to follow Varg down this hole, which you have no clue if how far that hole goes or anything?
Down
you don't.
low hole.
Yeah, you
Down
look down.
low
It's like
hole.
you don't even know if it's it could be a hole that goes straight to hell. You have no clue, because this was a weird monster plant. Who knows where it came from?
Cornelia is gonna go to the edge of the pool and stick her head over and go, Varg?
And you just hear an echoing Varg, Varg.
Oh,
You just see Adama go, fuck. And she just over the edge of the pool, sliding down the slimy pool.
Oh, no.
Ah! Down the hole.
All right, so
Wow.
Adama just jumps into the hole. Okay.
Kett kind of like doesn't grab Cornelia, but puts his hand on her shoulder. We should take the stairs.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say we should maybe try and take the stairs.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Padre, stairs?
All right, Padre is looking at you and she says, "Yes." And she looks like down the hole, and she looks where Adama was standing and looks at the hole and again and looks at you and shakes her head and says, "Yes, the stairs."
Oh, wait, hey Padre, is your mom in there? Let me speak to your mom.
All right, she sits there. She kind of gives you like a really look.
Sorry, she's gonna know more about this stuff.
All right, she sits there for a second and she says, She won't come. It's something about this place. I don't know." And then she starts looking around at all the. And you had now you had, not only Padre, but you have a bunch of other like people here.
We got one person out of the pod, I think, right? One or two?
Yeah. So you've got other people there, and then there's other pods with apparently people in them.
Right. Should we wake them up or should we leave them?
If I recall, and I could be wrong, the people though weren't really people, right? Like they were forms, but like none of them communicated in any way. Like they were kind of like blank slates.
Pretty much. Yeah, they were looking at you blankly as if they didn't understand what you were saying. Or even like no self-recognition. They were like looking at their hands like, what is that? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Best we leave them.
All right.
They're not going to go anywhere.
One last thing, because Morgan went through her notes and saw something that she forgot about. So the two-headed wolf, Azad, I think I read something or heard something that was the child of a sorcerer and a princess or a priestess. Is that your brother?
She sits there for a moment and she says, I don't know. But, and then she sits there for a second longer and then she goes, something wants me to say yes, but something is wrong with him, but I don't know what.
All right. Well, Varg definitely wants to kill him, so we should maybe go find Varg and now Adama.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's make haste. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so so the two of you are now running down the stairs. Adama, Varg, as you've mounted this dais, you're now standing in front of this mangy, it's looked like starving wolf. You just freed it. It just talks to you. It starts to get up, and you hear like it's like joints cracking as it's like standing up, as if maybe it hadn't stood up for a really long time. And so it's like stands up and stretches, kind of arcs its back and kind of shivers a little bit as if it's getting ready. And then all of a sudden you hear whoosh as something falls into the water. And then
Adama gets off.
gets out of the way and starts making noises. The wolf looks at Varg as if like one of the heads kind of looks at you, one of the ears kind of goes up, and the other head says, "Do you need a minute?"
Wow, saucy.
Sarcastic wolf.
Varg will look back at their friend. Varg would love like two minutes.
All right, it kind of like shakily like lays back down.
Oh, this is disgusting. What is this pull that I fell into? Varg, are you... Oh. Whoa.
Adama, Varg is here. Varg recommends if you take the smell away from your nose, it doesn't smell as bad.
God. I'm going to smell myself for weeks. It's just, and then you just see her eyes like go from you to the wolf behind you, and she just kind of gets real quiet. Her eyes get really big. Varg.
Varg found the wolf.
Very, very large wolf.
Yep.
Varg also unchained them.
Good to know. Of course you did. Right. You just see her getting out her two-handed sword, and she's just like, okay, and starts walking up the stairs.
All right, so Adama, now you're seeing this creature for the first time, like in its full glory.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to make a discipline check as the fear effect washes over you. Now your target number is 2. You've not been raised with the wolf.
No.
No.
So
So
this is giant.
Can't argue it for you. I'm so sorry.
This is a giant elephant-sized wolf. Okay, question for you, Eric, because I didn't quite understand when you were talking about traumas and getting rid of traumas.
right. So what you do is every trauma or wound that you take increases your target number for everything by that number.
Okay.
So that means that with your trauma of 2,
Yeah.
you would essentially, this target number is not 2, it's 4. So what you can
Get rid of those.
Yeah, so to get rid of those, what you can do is you can spend a point of fortune, and what that does is it negates that negative effect for this combat. Now, if you were to take wounds again or traumas again, not only does it come back, but it compounds, so it gets worse. So once you start going down that spiral of damage, fortune is very important to try and stave that off. The other thing that you can do is where is it at? It's it's counsel, which is one of the skills to help ease that.
Can I give myself a pep talk?
You can, yeah, you can certainly try and counsel yourself. The target number for that roll, it would be equal to the number of trauma that you have plus 1 because you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, no, I'll pass.
This will be the shortest counseling session anyone has had ever.
Yeah, right.
All right. So the easy way out of this would be to spend a fortune point. Then you're fine for the
Okay.
For this
How do I
roll.
spend the fortune point in here to do that? Do I
Just
on it?
click on the green, one of the green dots, and turn it. There you go.
Okay.
You're not adding
So-
to a dice roll or anything. You're just spending it for its effect.
So you gave us one, so I technically have 4.
Correct.
So I spent one, so, I'm
You're
at
back
3.
down to
Okay.
3. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Am I the only one who spent any fortune?
Uh-huh.
Up until this point, I think so.
All right. Well, you guys are front loaded. This is great. You can save me.
We
Yeah,
are
sure,
ready for this
sure,
finale.
sure. All right, so now you'll need a discipline check, and it's going to be DC 2. So do you want to spend any momentum on this?
I'm going to
lot.
fail this no matter what.
So you're not going to waste the momentum, is what you're saying?
Wasting the momentum. My discipline is an 8.
Right. Now, here's the other part of it you could do.
dear.
The other thing you could do is you could spend a fortune on the roll, which gives you a dice that had rolled an automatic 1, which counts as 2 successes because you have an focus in discipline. So you would succeed that roll if you spent a fortune before rolling it.
I'm spending a fortune to
up.
do that.
Last
Yep.
session.
So,
last
so,
session.
so yeah, instead of clicking the green button though, click
Yeah.
the little dice button next to it. There you go. And then click your discipline check.
All right, so I'll do my discipline check now.
There you go.
Did it roll?
Double click. There it is. And good thing you spent that fortune because you succeeded with the fortune point. All right, so you draw. You have your two-handed sword. You're feeling this. You're like, that's not what you. At first, you're like, that's a big shaggy beast. What is that? And then you're like, that's a two-headed dog. So yeah. So and then so it just kind of hits you all at once, and then you're like, yeah, and then you steel yourself and keep going.
What does that look like on Adama? Like Varg looks back, ready to fight. Like, do you like quake in your boots for a second and then kind of steel yourself?
Yeah, I mean, when Adama sees this creature, like she like trips over her words a little, and her eyes get really big, and she's like, "It's going. All right. We're going to do this." And then she starts talking to herself, almost like you can kind of hear her mom somewhere in there,
Oh, yep.
right in the background, like giving her a hard time. You're very strong, and you cannot back down from a fight. That is not what our family does. We go into a fight, and we have honor, and we must help our friends. Varg, I am here for you. She's just like stomping up the stairs, talking to herself.
Varg is excited to see you. Varg suggests a howl. It is a good way to start the fight.
I don't know. It's very strange.
Very good. Varg was impressed.
Like the idea that the wolf is like,
Yeah, one head is like nodding. The other head just kind of goes. Pfft.
Nice.
All
She
right.
stalks up there, ready to go.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll do a round of combat. So as you're readying yourselves, the wolf then stands up and like backs away just like a step or two. The chain is hanging between the two heads. It's still obviously their heads are chained together, but then again, it's part of the same body, so it's not like it's that restrictive. And it seems to be readying itself, and then. Let's see here. As combat goes, the PCs go first unless I spend a point of doom to go first, which I do.
You got a chunk,
Yeah. So Zod is going to attack. All right. So here's the deal. 2 heads, 2 attacks. So one is going at Adama, and the other one is going at Varg. You're relatively close together, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. This is a dread creature. What that special ability means is that when combat starts with a dread creature, it's a dread creature 3, I get 3 additional doom added to my pool.
Oh, come on.
Anyway.
Of course you do.
It's garbage.
Like you needed more.
All right. So the first thing that happens is it is actually going to do a bellowing roar, which is
Will you make the sound for us? Thank you.
yeah, that was horrible.
Wonderful. Okay.
All right, so
V is like trying her best tonight. She's like, I want to get all the weird sounds of you
right,
guys.
exactly.
Out of everybody, I'm gonna get some Golden
Yes,
work
it
today.
does. It does not sound like a wolf at all. It sounds like something
Sounds
much more
sad.
guttural and almost pitiful. All right, so spin. All right, so what it does is it's a creature that makes a dreadful noise by spending 2 doom. Boink, boink. It attempts a threaten action and then begins a bellowing roar display, inflicting mental damage within the area. So here we go. It is going to do. It uses brawn. Oof. Okay, so its target number is 18. And its DC is going to be 1. And there we go. Okay. Oops. Let's see here.
The suspense is gonna kill me. Ugh, ghost dice.
Yep.
What did you roll?
All right, so it got 1 success. So it's going to do, let's see, it's monstrous ground. Nope, it does 6 dice of damage, and it does it to both of you. And this is mental damage with area effect, piercing 2 and vicious 1 qualities. So I roll
Here.
on the bright side, I only rolled 1 6. So that's nice. So that's 1. Actually, this isn't good damage at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 damage, this is off of your.
Resolve?
It is, yes, 5 points of your resolve.
It's a good thing we got to refresh it last session.
Right.
Jeez.
My goodness, it would have been gone.
Now,
Ooh.
what 5 points of resolve does is 1 trauma.
Another trauma.
We just
Right.
fixed this.
You just fixed it, and now it's back. So this horrible, just resonating sound just kind of pierces your ears as it makes this noise, and so it did that to both of you. So now it has a bite attack. So let's see which one of you gets the bite attack. I think it's going to go for Varg.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Varg is here for this. That was B that was like, no.
All right. So the target number is 18. Oof.
Adama's still muttering that her armor is going to stink for weeks.
I don't even know if I'm going to make this fight out with any of my armor, honestly.
Fair.
So
Fair.
I might lose it.
All right.
See how that bite does. Oops, where did Fantasy Grounds go?
Okay. So it's got 2 dice. It is looking for 18s or less on the attack.
Yeah, success. We
Yep,
know,
that's
we
2
get it.
successes. Now you can parry. Now your weapon does not have the
Okay.
have the parry ability. So what that
Yeah.
means is you have to award me a doom
Oh my
for
gosh.
a parry, if you wish.
Okay, I will, because let's be real, you are not going to use 13 Doom this for the rest of the session.
Sure,
True
of course I
story.
won't. So all right, so you're giving me a doom.
I am.
All right, so go ahead and roll your parry. Your target number. You're looking for 2 successes.
Whoops. Can I roll again? 'Cause-
Because you didn't put the number of your DC 2 is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yes, you may do so.
Thanks. I'm still gonna fail.
Yep.
I mean, thank you for letting me try.
Uh-huh. All right. So this horrible mewling roar is like shaking you, and then a gargantuan maw just crashes down on you. So it hits you in. Let's do the hit location. Hits you in the head.
Head. I don't have any armor on my head.
Oh no.
Could you pick something better?
All right. So this gargantuan maw has vicious 2. So each one of the phoenixes that I roll actually does 2 extra damage. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage.
If I die.
14 damage. So you have no armor in that area.
No.
So that will take out all of your vigor.
Yeah, all of it. Literally all of it.
Literally all of your vigor. With 14 damage, that is actually 2 wounds.
Oof.
Now, here's the way. The way Conan works, and remember last time this happened to Kett. If you get hit, you can sacrifice a point of armor on one of your areas to negate the hit.
Throw my arm up in the way.
Okay, so you can go ahead and give yourself back you don't take the wounds, and your vigor's back up, so you're fine. So it's essentially just
back up at 14.
You're just negating. You're negating the entire attack with a shredded
By sacrificing
sacrificing
your armor.
the armor.
Does it sacrifice 1 point or multiple points? Like if you have 3 points of armor in your arm.
As I recall, it's I think it's an optional rule where you can do it incrementally, and I choose to do it that way because it makes fights longer, especially when you're fighting bad guys. Because then I can start shredding 1 point of armor here, 1 point of armor there, as opposed to So it works out. It works both ways. All right. So anyway, boom! You put your arm up in the way, and that's a good use of sacrifice armor there, because that would have really torn you up on the head, no less. So yeah, this big maw just kind of comes up over your head and chomps down. You put your arm up at the last moment and just kind of rips through your armor.
Varg saw their life flash before his eyes, and it wasn't pretty.
Right. All right. So that was Azad. So now it's the player character. So you choose who
God.
gets to go first.
What
Between
do
the
we
two of
do?
you.
Get it, Varg. I'll follow up.
Am I just gonna melee it? Okay,
Clean up
Varg,
afterwards.
Did
Varg is good
Adama
with
just do one of these?
After you.
Do you?
After you.
All right. I just want to smack it with my battle axe as hard as possible.
Okay.
Get it.
All right.
I want to behead one of them, but I know that's not necessarily reasonable. What's my difficulty?
So it's just difficulty 1. You're using melee. Okay. So you generate a point of momentum, so you hit. It is a nemesis, so it actually does get a reaction. So I can spend a doom to attempt to parry, which is a brawn and combat roll. So its target number is 18.
Oh my god, can it not be 18?
And you go and come in with the axe, and it one of its paws just kind of swats to the side and swats the axe aside.
I regret giving you that doom point. We now have 10, 12 to go
12
through.
12 to go through, yes. All right, Adama, what are you doing?
Okay. Well, All right, so we are going to use the two-handed sword.
Okay.
And we are going to attack. And if I remember correctly, I have a little bit of cheese related to this. Let's see here. So I can spend momentum to add the vicious quality to the weapon if it doesn't have it, or increase the vicious quality by 1 if it already does have that quality.
Right. So
All right.
the two-handed sword has vicious, so a spend of a momentum would increase it to vicious 2. I
I also have melee expertise. When I make a melee attack, you can reroll a number of damage dice equal to the number of the melee talents I have.
Right, which I think you have 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
No mercy, blood on steel. I think
This is as soon as I can hit it and
2.
it doesn't parry. Does it get as many parries around as it wants?
I still have to, well, what it does is it's an escalating doom cost. It's just like with you all, you have to spend momentum, or you have to give me, you have to give me doom. For me to do it, I have to spend doom. So it spent 1 doom to parry Varg. For your attack, it would cost it 2 doom and this within the same round.
12.
Sure, but it all counts, right? All right, so
Okay, what's our DC?
it's DC 1. Do you want to spend any momentum on the attack?
I do. I want to spend a momentum.
Okay.
At least 1.
Okay.
We're going to throw 1 in there. Okay. All right. So that means... So my brain is confused between this one and the other game.
Sure. So double click. You're going to double click your DC is 1.
Yeah, I got that.
And then you would double click the dice next to your melee 15 there.
Okay, and did it add the momentum already, or do I have?
Oh, you have to increase the dice number
3?
to 3 down there at the bottom left.
Okay. All right, now I got it, and I do a melee attack.
Correct. There you go. So you got 4 successes. So you generate 3 momentum. So you now cap the momentum.
Boom. Boom.
There you go.
That.
And then I need to spend 2 doom to parry, which I do. And it's target number 18. So there we go.
Heats it.
And succeed. So you come in so Varg comes in with the axe, bats it aside. You come in with the 2-handed sword, bats it aside, and you're still like at this stalemate when we cut to the other team. All right, so Kett and Cornelia, you descend this staircase, and it seems like it just takes forever to get down the stone. It's a narrow stone staircase that just kind of seems to just spiral down into the abyss, to the point where you're like, it's dark down here.
How long have we been walking? Type of.
I would say, I mean, if you're just
like that's it goes so long. It's like, how long have we been on the stairs?
Right.
Like,
and so you're starting to lose track of time of just how long this is taking. Now, like I said, it's dark, but then after a while, you're feeling your way down this staircase, and then you see like a little bit of light. And as you are starting to slowly go down the staircase, you can actually pick up your speed because there's this greenish light that is emanating from these like crusty, like there's like this crusty film growing over these jewels set into the wall, and these jewels are glowing this like putrid green, like a yellowish green color. And so it's enough where you can see where you're going, but it kind of distorts things to the point where it's like, it's almost nauseating because you're going down this narrow staircase to this very poor light. And as you're, and they're separated by intervals. So it starts to get dim, and then the next one will, like lights the way. And as you pass these stones set into the wall, you actually feel what feels almost like an unnatural heat emanating from them.
Okay.
So as you're going deeper into this, eventually you start to smell something that's not putrid water or rotten vegetable matter and things like that. What you initially you thought maybe it was your mind playing tricks on you or something, but then you start to smell something very sweet. And at first it's almost cinnamon smell. And then it's getting thicker and thicker as you're getting down to the bottom of this, to this landing. And you start to smell this incense burning smell. And there's an arched doorway at the end of this, on this landing. And it's coming from this arched doorway. And beyond the arched doorway is a more of a natural, maybe like a a fire light of some sort, maybe a lamp or lantern or brazier or something. It's certainly not these weird green stones that are glowing in this area that's causing this, where the smell is coming from.
Okay.
As we come down the stairs, I think once things start to kind of normalize a little, Kett's going to do his best to take up like a defensive position, like kind of standing in front of Cornelia. Like there's doorways ahead, like he's leaning in to like see what's in the rooms. Like Kett has suddenly become extremely careful.
Okay. All right.
Cornelia's gonna pick up on that and turn to Padre and do like a.
She gives you the thumbs up.
So
This was not where we thought. This is not where Kett thought they were going.
no. Should we look in? And she's gonna whisper, but I want people to hear me. Should we look in there? And is someone in there?
We have to look.
Okay.
We have to. Just
All right. That's the only way forward, right?
Yeah. That's essentially. I mean, there appears to have been maybe like ways to go previously, but it looks like it long ago had caved in or things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a one-way area to go. And
Kett will bring his two-headed scimitar out and kind of walk slowly into the room.
Okay.
What's happening?
All right. So as you're making your way into this large area, like I said, it's a lightly smoky area. Appears to be some sort of a burial chamber of some sorts. And let me make some adjustments here so the people at home can see the full thing. There we go. So as you're coming through and you're seeing this, you see what appears to be some sort of a sarcophagus right in the middle of the room, surrounded by these candlesticks that quite obviously have been put there recently, and because they are lit. And then the braziers around the room have been lit. So this is a very well lit room. This is a full-on burial chamber. And what you're seeing is right there at the foot of the sarcophagus is Kai.
My cousin?
Cornelia's cousin. And so that's the first thing you see. And he's standing at the foot of the sarcophagus and he's staring at it, as if mesmerized by it, with like this almost blank expression on their face. And then at Kett, as you kind of take a step into the room, you hear like a shuffling noise. And to your left, there is a full-on throne with a person, and I will extend the picture there. A armored person with this ornate helmet sitting there on this throne, and the head slowly turns to the right and looks at you. The eyes are glowing red. And
fuck.
We split the party, y'all.
Oh my word.
and
Oh my word.
So Cornelia clearly hears Kett utter, kind of under his breath, you hear, fuck.
and the right hand of this person sitting on the throne kind of raises up, and you can see that they have this very, very big ring on their on their one finger, like their middle finger, and they just kind of make a fist like this. And when they do that, Kai is standing there, like I said, just mesmerized by this sarcophagus. Kai's eyes head just turns up and then looks in your direction, and then you see him reach under his cloak and starts to pull a weapon. And this person on the throne is holding their fist out like this, and then just staring like straight ahead. And then Kai begins to start slowly moving towards you.
So that thing, it's my necklace, right? That should never the twain shall meet to have destructo thing, right? Like, we're not supposed to combine. So as soon as Cornelia sees Kai, she is going to shove the necklace under every bit of clothing that she has to hide it.
Okay.
Because no thanks. And then she's gonna look at Kett and be like, should we run back up the stairs?
Kett just turns over his shoulder and says, "Go." And he kind of like he stretches his shoulders a bit, and you can see him like kind of clench the handle, the hilt of his sword, and he steps forward.
All right. All right. So then, Cornelia, well, both of you see that Kai is staying there. Kai has, I can zoom in for everyone. Here we go. Where did Cornelia? Oh, I zoomed out too far. All right. So, Kett, you start to move forward. Kai is now moving towards you. Kai. Here we go. Kai is in his hand has, like I said, he's pulling a scimitar, and then the other hand, all right, so his left hand, he pulls a scimitar out. And then his other hand on top of the sarcophagus, you would see, there's like this, the image on top of the sarcophagus of, whoever is supposedly buried on the inside. And it looked like the one hand, it was, like it was built into it, like this hand was holding a staff or a stick or something. He reaches down and with his right hand, and he picks the stick up in his hand, and he starts to move towards you. And you can see that this stick was at one time probably twice as long as it is now, but it looks like it had been either cut or shorn at some point. And so he's holding like this, it's like a quarter staff in his hand.
I was going to say, like, at this point, it's a staff that's been almost like cut down to a scepter.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. So, and he is now approaching you. He's got a glazed look in his eye, and he's like intent on coming at you. The person on the throne is just got the clenched fist, and really that is all that they are doing. It's initiative, so PCs go first unless I spend a doom, which I do. So Kai immediately just springs towards you at full bear.
Jeez.
At you. With has the scimitar in one hand, so is actually fighting with two weapons. So the way this is going to work is it is going to be his target number is 12. He's going to roll twice, and he gets 2 successes. So do you wish to parry this?
The scimitar does not have parry.
Okay, do you wish to give me a doom to parry this?
No, but
all right, not do you wish. Will you give me a doom to parry this?
yes.
Okay, so I will add a doom, and so you are parrying. Go ahead and roll your parry. Do you want to? You have 6 momentum in the pool. Do you want to add any momentum, or any momentum to this roll?
I'll spend a momentum on it.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. Add a dice and make your parry roll.
Oh, no, don't drag the window. Come on.
All right, so you ended up with 2 successes, which you don't actually generate the momentum because your target number was 2 because he got 2 successes. So,
okay.
But you parry it. So he comes in with the scimitar with his left hand and swipes, and you parry that with your scimitar. Then I spend the doom for the second attack. He is now going to try and hit you with the staff of Xirus. So that is he also needs a 12 for that. So and gets 1 success. Now, do you want to give me 2 doom to parry that?
No.
Okay. All right. So the staff of Xirus comes down, like you said, the billy club of Xirus descends upon you. Let's see here. The staff of Xirus has the yes.
It has the made of glass talent, right?
Sure.
What,
It shatters immediately
No.
because it's old as fuck.
That's right. It actually has Doom spin, so I can actually spend Doom to add different powers to it. So I'm going to
Much worse.
drop 2 Doom to give it the fearsome trait. So it like exudes this like dark, fearsome power. Which what that means in game terms is that not only does it do every point of physical damage it also does mental damage.
okay.
All right, so I'm rolling damage. The Staff of Xirus. Luckily, I only rolled 2 points of damage. So you take 2 points of vigor and 2 points of resolve. Yep, and that does not equate into trauma or wounds. Question: did you spend? I'm allowing this to happen after the fact. Did you spend the fortune point to negate your trauma that you have?
Is it to clarify? Is it 1 fortune point for all the trauma, or is it 1 point per point of trauma?
We're going to do 1 point for all the trauma because I want this to be more.
I will spend a fortune then to negate my trauma for this fight.
Right. Okay. So, well, it's unless you take trauma after the fact, because then it doesn't negate future trauma. It just negates the current trauma.
Yep.
Okay. So he comes in with the scimitar. You parry it away, and then the staff just kind of whack. Where does it hit you? Actually, that's a good point. Where does it hit you? Because you may have.
Kett has 1 piece of armor left.
Well, let's see if it hits it. Head.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So you took the 2.
Yep.
To the head.
That's
okay.
a good clonk. A good clonk.
Yeah, it's a good
noggin.
forehead smack right there with the. All right, so now it is PC's turn. So Kai rushes in at you and swipes at you, ting, one whap to the forehead, and now it's the 2 of you's turn.
Let's see if we can return this in kind. Cornelia, would you like to go first?
No.
Okay. Then Kett is going to try. He's going to do a quick little like swing of his scimitar and like bring it down.
Okay.
Try to bring it down on Kai. His target is the floor between Kai's legs.
You're not actually going
He's
to
using he's using the old the karate technique. He's looking to where he wants the blade to go.
Oh, I got you. So you're trying to lead him as to I'm going to really hit here, and you're really not.
Oh no! I'm looking through Kai to
I see
the floor.
I see.
To really bring the blade home.
I see.
As if Kai is water in the way of my blade.
Understood. Okay, so it is going to be, or you're spending the momentum. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, before you roll, he has a doom spend for personal ability, which is called his pretty face. It says some people are just too pretty to harm. As an interrupt, Kai can spend 2 doom, 1, 2, to add 1 to an opponent's attack difficulty. So instead of 1, your target is now 2.
Okay.
Because he's just too pretty.
As if.
So Eric trying to kill us. Like for real.
Eric saved it all for this episode. He let us get away with Varg just smashing through all these people. He lured us into a false sense of security.
Okay.
All right, so target number 2, and you spend a momentum on this attack, so that's going to give you the 3 dice. Anything else before you roll?
DC 2, I've got 3 dice queued up. Yep. I think.
I don't want to zoom Kai Sharon in so everyone can see just how pretty he actually is. So
I think that's going to be it for my first spend.
So pretty. Okay. All right. 4 successes, so you generate 2 points of momentum, and you hit him.
Let me look at my talents real quick.
Sure. So pretty. Yeah. Chat says so pretty.
Okay, I'm going to roll for damage. I'm going to spend one more momentum.
Hold on. He has deflection, so he can actually parry this.
Okay, well,
My goodness.
go ahead and parry it, and
All
we'll
right,
see.
so his parry. It's a
So I don't waste the momentum.
Yeah,
Go ahead and do
exactly.
your
I'm not going to
parry.
make you waste the momentum. Now,
Goodness.
now you actually got 4 successes. So technically, to parry this, he would need 4 successes himself, which is not going to be very easy for him. So just
So you got to spend a lot of doom, right?
I could spend 2 doom to boost this up. Sure, let's do that. So let's go 4 dice, and he needs a 12 or less to succeed. He rolls 1 success and a 20. So he actually he has a complication on this as well. So we will say that not only does he not parry with his scimitar, but you actually disarm him. So he only has the staff
right.
now.
He has only the staff.
That is correct. All right, so go ahead and now you can roll your damage.
All right, so I'm going to spend. I generated 2 momentum, correct? I still get to keep the 2 that I generated.
Absolutely, you do.
Okay, one of those. Oh, come on. 5,
Drag and drop.
6,
You're
all
right.
right.
Yep.
And then I will spend 1 to add no mercy. So the weapon already has a vicious quality, so I'm making it vicious 2.
Okay, sure.
Nice.
We like
And
it. We
then-
like it.
Let's see here. And we'll do the damage roll, and we'll see what happens here.
Okay. Nice. All right, so what you're looking at there is you did 8, 9. Wait a minute, it's vicious now. Vicious 2, correct?
It's vicious 2.
Yeah.
All right, so that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage.
And
Kett.
and the 2 blanks, I'd like to re-roll those.
Sure. So just roll 2d6, and we can figure out that's a nothing. And that is another 2 more points of damage. So what I say you did 16,
18 total.
18 total damage to Kai. All right. So he has an armor soak of 2. So you just did 16 points of damage to him, which is
Amazing.
yeah, it is amazing.
It's not quite Varg level, but I mean,
It is not
We're
quite
impressed,
Varg
though.
level, but he
somewhere like there's in the back of your head, Varg, you're like,
That nod of approval.
All right, so you disarm him, and then the scimitar comes down, and he tries to back away from it. It slices down his back and shreds his armor.
Yes.
So he had a padded like a padded vest. You've completely shredded his padded vest, so he no longer has armor.
That does not like a traitor.
All right. So now it is. Now that was your attack. You could spend 2 momentum to attack again.
yep.
Okay.
If everybody's cool with that,
Do
I
it
would
up.
like to.
Do it.
I'd like to do one more, since
Do
he's
it.
now armor free. Nope. Hold on.
You added instead of.
I added instead of dragged, so I'm gonna spend 3 just because I added 1 by accident.
Sure. Okay. All right. So you now have a second attack on Kai. So
Not doing anything fancy this time. I already blew a big chunk of the momentum pool.
Not blowing it. Good reasons.
Yeah, but there's still a whole nother fight going on in the other room that I don't know about.
Yeah, but Varg is going to create like 20 momentum in like 6 minutes. Don't worry
All
about
right.
it.
All right. Well,
fine.
I am gonna spend 1 more. What the hell?
Yes.
All right. So that's this, and the DC is still 2, or is it going to be back down to 1?
It is. He's actually it. I guess you get over his pretty face because it's for each attack. So I'm not going to spend 2 momentum or 2 doom again for the to increase it by 1. So it is just
Okay.
it's DC 1.
All right. DC 1, 3 dice. Here we go for melee. The scimitar comes back around for another swipe.
Okay. All right. 3 successes. You generate 2 points of momentum. I will spend the doom to attempt to parry because he has deflection, so we got the first one for free. So the second one, he's going to use 2 dice. You got 3 successes, so he's going to need... Yeah, he's going to have to roll it. And he got 0 successes on the parry, so you hit him.
And I will spend one of those momentum that I gained for No Mercy.
Okay.
Or sorry, for Vicious to add Vicious 2 again to the weapon.
Sure. Nice. Again, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. He does not have armor anymore, so that is a full-on 14.
And I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah, the blank, yeah.
Actually, the ones are also nothing, correct?
No, ones count as 1.
So I only have 1 blank. I have 1 that's not doing anything,
Yes,
correct?
right.
All right.
And that adds another one. So that is a total of 15 damage. He has no more armor. He could not parry. That's 3 wounds. So how do you kill him?
Well, I had said that Kett was using all of his training to aim for the floor. So the scimitar comes down once across the chest and breaks the armor off and shreds the armor. And then it comes back down across the other shoulder and Kett's bringing it straight to the ground. You hear the blade strike the ground after it hits him.
Okay. All right. And he just kind of sitting there, and you see his eyes clear for a moment, and he kind of looks like over your shoulder looking at Cornelia, and you see his eyes kind of like his face kind of scrunch up almost as if he's like confused for a moment, and then his lips snarls like in hatred, and then he just kind of leans forward and dies. All right. Kai Sharan is dead. All right. So cutting back to the other group.
Well, how is Cornelia?
Cornelia? What do you want?
Yeah, Cornelia's still...
Yeah, you still...
That's a turn.
You still could do something.
Yeah. Wow.
What's funny is that I had this like moment in my head of like, okay, Cornelia is not going to run. She's going to turn and for the first time fight. So I feel like she started to go back up the stairs at Kett's request and then stopped and like braced herself and like took a deep breath and like pulled out that crossbow that she hasn't used this entire time and turned and then was like, well, okay. Don't actually need to use this right now. So I think she's just going to stand there and watch and have that moment of like locking eyes with her cousin and just kind of freeze.
Okay.
Cornelia's had a lot of death in the family.
Right. All right. So what happens in here before we cut to the other group then is Kai just kind of slumps to the floor. The person sitting in the throne, you see their hand was clenched in front of their face, and like as soon as Kai drops to the ground, you see the hand unclench and then settle back down onto the throne. And the head just kind of then turns slowly and looks at Kett. All right, now back to the other group. All right, on the bright side.
We got this.
Yeah, on the bright side, I only have 2 doom in my pool.
Whoa, wait, what actually?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes.
Hold y'all. That was
Everything
nothing.
I do it for you.
Nice.
All right, so it's a new round. I could go first if I wanted to spend the doom, but with my doom pool solo, I don't think I'm going to do that. So it's the player characters going first.
Okay.
After
Varg.
you.
Desperately. We have Varg has to behead this Adzad?
Adzad, yes.
Varg takes a moment to like properly pronounce his name and like, okay, Varg will behead you, Adzad.
Yes, good. Please.
All right, that's a hit.
a hit.
Do I want to spend the doom for a parry? No, I do not.
Not the battle axe. Oh, that's not very good at all.
Oof.
Do I have that thing where I can
no
reroll?
mercy? I believe you do. Yes, you do. You have no mercy. You also have. You can reroll. I think. Yeah, it looks like 2.
Not
Yeah,
as
you
many,
can-
yeah.
You can reroll. Well, you can reroll as many dice as you have combat talents
Right, which you
or
have
melee talents.
melee talents, which you have 2 of them. So you can reroll 2 of those dice. So just roll 2d6. Hey, that's good.
Hey,
And a 2, less good.
Oh, I didn't see the
Did it
second
load?
one. I didn't see
I
the
didn't see that one.
Oh,
2 is actually good because that counts as 2 damage.
Yeah,
6 is 1 damage, but a special effect. So
okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. I rolled it again and it's just like not loading, but it was.
it's fine.
2.
It'll probably pop up here in a minute.
Okay, I'll stop rolling it then.
Right. Okay, so it has vicious 1. So each one. So you rolled a total of 5. You did 6, 7, 8 damage and 2 effects. So that's 9, 10 damage. It has a soak of 6. So you did 4 vigor of damage to it. If you spend a momentum, that will make it 5, which will make it a wound.
Doing it.
Okay. So it is now at 1 wound. And you did 5 vigor. So that is okay. All right. All right. So yeah, come in with the axe. Boom. Hit it. Do you want to spend
What is it? 2 momentum
2
to go
momentum to go again?
again? Adama, did you need momentum?
You're fine. We got this.
Thanks. Yeah.
I promise I'll roll lore sometime tonight. And then we'll just
Please.
have-
Actually, when we cut back, that is the first thing I wanted you to do.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna go again.
All
Are you
right.
worried about him, kid?
Heard that meow.
My cat is very concerned for the 2 of you.
Thank you, kitty.
All right. I am not spending Doom to parry so that you generate 2 momentum on that roll. And go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah. Click.
Nice. Oof. And you get to re-roll one of those, or 2 of those blanks. So your 2 blanks you get to re-roll. There's an effect.
Oops,
And there's another point of damage. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. Its soak is 6, so you did 8.
Okay.
That's still
It's a wound.
that's still a wound. So that's now 2 wounds. Did 8 points. So that takes away 8 of its vigor. And also, my mistake, you also have an ability or a thing on your axe that's called intense. When you inflict 1 wound, you inflict 2. So that is a total of 4 wounds. What that means is, for this creature, once it hits its 3 wounds, you take a head.
Yes! I think this is it's not at all how Varg anticipated. You know, he had been dreaming of the moment where it would be a clean cut, especially armed with an axe of this caliber. But, oh, Adama, the sight that you had to witness, it was gruesome. There was a lot of hacking. There was a lot of screaming on Varg's part and screaming on behalf of the enemy until finally they were able to behead one
Yes.
of their heads.
So in game terms, the way this works is you cleave one of its heads off completely, and it rears back. In game terms, it resets to 0 wounds. It still has its number of vigor, so you've still done the vigor damage, but now you're going to have to do wounds again. And you see that when you cleave the head, as it's falling down these stairs of this dais, it's like actively rotting as it's falling down the stairs, and then it turns to look at Adama, who's coming with the 2-handed sword, and you can just see the wisp of what appears to be like a spectral head where the cleaved head used to be.
Okay.
Huh.
All right. So I think Adama is probably going to step around to the side of where Varg was cleaving away and try to get in at the other
Sure, do it.
wolf head. All right.
Varg believes in you. You got this.
All right. I'm going to use one momentum.
Okay.
And let's see. We're going to do melee. Is it DC 1?
It is DC 1, yes. And you have 3 dice. 3 successes. So you generate 2 momentum.
Nice.
I'm not going to parry. So go ahead and roll the damage of your 2-handed sword.
And remind me again, what does vicious do for me?
For every phoenix die that turns up, you instead of 1 point of damage, it does 2.
Okay. And with my special ability, let's see, do I get any phoenixes? Yes. Okay, so I have vicious. So that doubles the phoenixes, right?
Yep.
And you also have blood on steel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you spend a momentum, instead of +1 for each phoenix, it becomes +2 for each phoenix.
Let's do it.
All right. So that's a total of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage.
Yes.
It has a soak of 6, so that's 8 points of damage. If you spend both of those momentum, that counts as 2 wounds. You got right now. You've done 1. If you spend both the momentum, you give it 2 wounds.
Okay. All right. We throw it in there.
Okay, so it now has 2 wounds. Now the significance of that, of course, is now its target numbers are all at +2 to hit you, and it is now its turn. So, and it only has 1 head. So who's it gonna attack? The one that just took one of its heads, or the one that almost took the other one? So that's the good question. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3 is Varg, 4, 5, 6 is Adama, and it's going for Varg.
Adama.
It's going for Varg. All right, so
Makes sense.
and it needs an 18 to hit Varg, and I will. Yep, I think that's all it's going to do. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. How much does that
Oh
cost?
no.
Yeah.
More armor. Adama's like, no, me.
All right. Okay. All right. So
yourself
it's
in the
got
way.
it needs an 18 to hit you. So 2 dice. Oof. It hit. That's 3 successes. So it generates 2 doom. Are you going unless you parry? Are you? You have to give me a point of doom to parry. Okay.
No.
All right. So it bites you.
Fine.
I generate 2 doom, and it bites you with its its gargantuan maw. All right, so damage. Boom.
Varg is tough. As long as you don't hit my
Varg
head
is
again.
tough. That is definitely true. All right, so it's vicious 2. So that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage.
More than my vigor. Mm-hmm.
Hit location, where does it hit you? 15 damage to the 7, which is your left arm.
Okay. I mean, I got armor. I'm going to sacrifice there.
All right, so how much armor do you have there?
1.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to be, that's essentially, it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. With 1 armor, that's 14. That's going to be 2 wounds unless you sacrifice the armor.
Sacrificing it.
Okay, so shreds that armor too. Now you have no armor on your arms, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now that's its turn. So let's go ahead and go back around to the PCs, fighting the wolf. We'll just kind of stick with the wolf fight here, just for one more round.
Okay.
Narratively, it needs to be known that Varg is now shirtless.
Hot.
So
We're at that part in the battle, you know.
So
DBZ
are you
style.
suggesting that Varg has their pretty face also? Is that
He should have had it all along. I don't know why he didn't. But there's like the tatters of like the shredded shirt. Maybe there's a little bit of it left.
Nice. Nice.
I kind of, there's a part of me that just imagines that Varg like loses the other piece piece of arm, and then just like grabs their chest piece and just like rips it off.
Yeah, just getting in the way at this point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Meanwhile, Adama, who's like armored from head to toe, is just like drenched in wolf blood and like mucky water, like,
Moldy vegetables.
It's like the stuff like hanging from her face. She's like,
Oh, I like the contrast.
yeah.
So I mean, Kett was right. Varg does still have his torso armor. So maybe it's just like his arms that are being beautifully displayed.
Sun's out, guns out.
That's right.
And they're just going to attack.
All right. No momentum in the pool, so that means you're gonna whatever you're
None.
gonna get, you have to generate.
Oh, I generated one.
There you go. 1 point of momentum. I'm not going to parry, so go ahead and roll your damage.
All right.
Blam.
Not incredible. I can reroll 2.
Yes,
Yep.
that's an effect. And that's an effect.
Oh, I
So-
mean, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. It has soak of 6, so you do 5 vigor, which inflicts a wound, which with your weapon, if it inflicts 1, inflicts 2, the other head comes off.
It's so cool looking. Now you have Adama in the background who's just ejected. And then Varg, again, he takes that swing and just like the first axe cut splashes Adama in more blood. And he is so unapologetic. He just keeps swinging until finally they have decapitated Adzad.
Yep. All right.
Adama's like just got like that twitchy eye going on. She has 2 trauma already. Just like blood drenched and twitchy.
Wait, I thought. Sorry, did you get more trauma? I thought you healed yours.
It's temporary, though.
We got
Yeah.
another one.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yep. All right, so cutting back to the group in the tomb. So Kai slumps to the ground. Let's go ahead and make a lore check for Cornelia as you're now observing everything that's happening.
Yeah, boy.
Based off of all that's happened and everything like that. Do you right now? I'm going to say your DC is 1.
Okay. Because I've made this my crazy life's work. Oh, no, wait. I just rolled 1 die. I changed the thing.
Yep.
DC 1.
You succeeded, though.
Yeah.
I succeeded
Yeah.
and I changed. Okay.
Just
so let
change
me
the dice to 1 and do it again.
Mhm.
Nice roll of a 1, though. By the way, that's beaut. There you go. So you generated a point of. Actually, you got 3 successes. You generated 2 momentum.
Okay. I'll put 2 in the,
Yep.
the docket.
All right. So as you're standing there and you're looking at this, and you know that you've seen this, it's almost you're getting kind of a deja vu almost because you've seen this before, and it's your father had actually drawn this like room before in like on like a map or from like pieces of maps and things like that. So you know that you've seen this before. But that's not what this is all about. You know that this is some sort of ritual, like a resurrection ritual that's happening right now. You don't have the arcane power to understand or even try and stop it in that regard. But you know that something was set into place and that it all focuses on this sarcophagus. The sarcophagus itself is the source of this power that's being generated. And you can actually kind of start to feel it as it's starting to build. If you spend a point of momentum, I'll give you more information.
Yeah.
Generated it just for you.
All right. Now, as you're standing there and you're looking at the sarcophagus, you know that this is the sarcophagus of Xirus, this ancient sorcerer that was buried down here thousands of years ago. But then you're like, well, if that's Xirus in the sarcophagus, who is this sitting on the throne? And that's when you really look at the person sitting on the throne very closely for the first time.
Oh, no.
And you recognize the jawline. You recognize the set of the arm. to the point where there is absolutely no doubt in your mind that the person sitting on that throne is your father.
Does he like look? Is he all skeleton man-y, or is he?
No, I mean he has his arms are flesh.
Okay.
But he's certainly got his eyes are glowing way redder than they ever have before. So there's something, yeah. But you just, like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that you know how your father looked, and just the look of him, this, like I said, his jawline. He's got this. I'll extend the picture of the. Oops.
Oop, he's upside down.
He's upside down. Turn around, Dad. Oop, going the wrong direction. Here we go. Oop, oop, oop. Come on. There he goes.
He's breakdancing.
There you go.
Breakdancing
That's right.
Dad.
That's right. Breakdancing Dad. So yeah, he's got this helmet on, and his eyes are glowing. And he certainly the arm, like the flesh of his arm and things like that. It doesn't look healthy, but he certainly doesn't look skeletal.
Okay. Cornelia is going to walk into the room. She's going to kick the staff of Xirus away from her, and she's going to point at it with she's going to point at it to Kett and be like, "Don't touch that." And then she's, I guess, gonna start very cautiously walking up to this.
Okay. Go ahead and put your token wherever you want to be.
Okay, so I think Cornelia's gonna get to about here.
Okay.
Dad?
All right. Let's do this. I want you to make a either a persuade or a discipline check. It's one or the other. Looking at your roll, it's basically the same thing. So let's just go ahead and just make it a persuade roll.
Okay.
Your target number is going to be 2. Do you want to spend any momentum?
Hold on, let me, because I have string cultures. Okay, so I have common ground.
Okay.
I forgot all about the fact that I had talents
Yeah, sure.
this whole time. So I have a broad education, understanding of history and culture, variety of perspectives when interacting with an opponent. I may attempt an average D1 lore test.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
As a minor action. On success, I recognize within my opponent an element of common ground for discussion. Any momentum from that lore test may be immediately added to a persuade or command test.
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay. So I'm gonna DC 1, or is it just dice 1?
It should be. It's a DC 1. That's a difficulty 1. So.
Okay, so do I roll 2 dice?
Yeah. You would roll your normal 2 dice. You can even add momentum if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Certainly don't, because you just got 3 successes. So,
right.
So on a success, you recognize. So you certainly recognize that this is your dad, and you get 2 momentum to add that you can add now to this persuade check.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll. Or no, I needed to add the momentum.
Right. Let's go ahead. So you go ahead and however many you can add up to 3 momentum if you want to, or you can even spend a fortune point on the roll if you wanted to do that to give yourself an automatic 1 on a roll.
I think this is a good time to use a fortune point, so
Sure.
I will use 1.
Don't click the green button. Click the little dice.
Click the dice. Okay. Boop.
Did it do it? Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Okay. So now you spent 2 momentum and you spent your fortune point. So you now go ahead and add 2 extra dice to your roll there, your pool.
Okay.
Down at the bottom.
So, wow, is that 5 dice?
Just increase it to 4 because the spinning of the
Right.
the momentum
just one of
should
them
make
is
it a
one.
total of 5.
All right. Persuade.
Nice.
I got 6 momentum.
Yeah, you generate. Well, your target number was 2, so you ended up generating 5 momentum on that roll.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
There you go. You've capped out the momentum.
Dang.
All right.
Okay.
So what happens is you step forward. You realize it's your dad, and just go ahead and what do you say at that moment?
I'm gonna look at him with big, giant, baby brown eyes that are rapidly filling with tears and say, Daddy? It's me, Cornelia. Do you know who I am?
He'd been staring at Kett, and then slowly his head turns, and the glowing eyes under this helmet just like fix on you, and then you just kind of sit there for what feels like an eternity, and then all of a sudden, very slowly, the lights inside the helmet go out, and you hear a voice say, Corny?
Hero.
And she's just going to run and throw herself at him.
Okay. So you like throw yourself at him, and you're like, and he doesn't really respond. He's just kind of sitting there very stiffly as you do that. And then he looks down at you and he says, I can't hold him off much longer, Corny. You're going to have to destroy the sarcophagus. Do it before it reaches full power.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, just don't
Make the staff whole again and use it to pierce the heart. Pierce the heart, Corny.
Okay.
And then you see the lights kick back on underneath the helmet.
As soon as the lights come back on, she's going to throw herself away from him so he can't grab her. And she's going to dive for the stupid staff.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut down to the group on the bottom. And the reason being is it all is tying together right now. So what happens is you've killed Adzad. You'd severed both of its heads. And like I said before, you see this almost like spectral head where the stump is of the first one, and then the other one drops, and then you see this like another spectral head kind of form, and they both just kind of like look down at this mangy, rotten body, and they just start to like tear itself apart. And as it's doing so, you can see that there's a spectral body beneath it, and it looks up, and you get this like wave of anger and menace coming from it as it, like, you can tell that it's getting ready to just jump, and as it's doing so, it grabs onto each one of you and just kind of shoots straight up into the air into a burial chamber.
You have arrived.
So for the let's get this under control here. All right, so for those of you in the burial chamber, right after so Cornelia, as you're jumping for this, the floor just bursts open as this spectral two-headed dog comes through the floor, and in its wake, almost like it's they're caught up in the backdraft of this, like this vacuum draft that's going on, is you see Varg and Adama just kind of tumble out from behind it. So right here.
Does Adama look clean and blow dried from the travel?
Actually looks this has exactly just
like blood dried.
right, exactly. So then it bursts through the floor, and so the two of you see it for the first time, and that means you're going to have to make a discipline check, Cornelia and Kett, as you see this monstrous two-headed wolf burst through the floor. But just seeing it's oozing this menace and whatnot, but it's not focused on any of you. It's focused on the one sitting on the throne. And you hear it say, "Father, I'm free." And
I did that. Varg did that.
Can I argue that Cornelia doesn't give a fuck about this dog? Her dad's alive, maybe.
so you're saying, can you reduce it from a DC2 to a DC1 because you don't care?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right, DC1, and it's a discipline.
Oof.
Did not succeed though, and I got a complication.
Oh,
Yes. All right. So, what happens is, all right, let me open up Abzad again. All right. And then, Kett, you have to make your discipline check as well.
I didn't know if you wanted to deal with hers first or
Nope.
if you
I'm going to
wanted
roll it all
okay.
together.
Okay.
Oh, I also have a trauma, so mine was higher anyway.
Oh, you didn't spend your, okay. Well, let me put it this way. Here in a moment would be a great time to do that. Not right now, but here in a moment. All right. So it looks like, Kett, you're rock solid. Nothing happened with you. So
Kett's seen a lot of
I've
things.
seen a lot of things in my day. Right. All right. So, oof. So Cornelia, you take a total of 4 to your resolve. So actually, that's not so bad, because that doesn't mean it's a trauma. Because 5 would have been a trauma.
Okay.
So not so bad. So yeah, it's a little spooky looking as this giant, two-headed dog comes bursting through the floor and is now like going straight for the person sitting on the throne, who is quite clearly your dad. All right. So, what is going to happen is the sorcerer that is Xirus is going to start laying waste to the room. The wolf is actually going to attack the sorcerer. The player characters, you can attack either the sorcerer or the wolf if you want to. I mean, you can still try. Actually, the only person who could really truly affect the spectral wolf is Varg, because the mark on your axe would make it so you could affect this spectral creature.
Okay.
Not that the others could not. It's just that essentially everyone else's target numbers is at a +2, whereas yours is straight up because of the nature of your axe. So.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that the wolf will not attack player characters, especially if you get in the way, or it's essentially in a blood frenzy right now. So it's going to focus on the sorcerer, but not necessarily. It could actually turn on y'all. So it's all the targets are viable at this point. Player characters get to go first unless I spend a doom to do so to go first, which I do. And I will do so for Xirus the wizard. And what he does is he is going to do what is his deathless stare. So he just kind of stares across the room. I don't know if this is at one person or it's an area effect. It's a one person thing. So he's who's he going to do it at? He's not going to do it he's not going to do a deathless stare to a wolf. So we'll say that he's not going to, for whatever reason, he's not going to target Cornelia. Maybe something inside him is telling him not to. So we're going to do Kett 1, 2, Adama 3, 4, Varg 5, 6. Kett. Didn't like you, Kett. So he does his deathless stare. So this is going to be a persuasion. He's going to need a 14 to hit you. And he rolls a success. So To avoid a deathless stare you could do it with an acrobatics, to turn, you're essentially just turning your, it's either, you would normally resist it with discipline. But I'm allowing you to use acrobatics or athletics to try and just like avert your gaze and get out of the way of this stare of his.
No, we're going to use discipline.
Okay.
Acrobatics is better, but I kind of like the idea of Kett like trying to do the stare down.
Okay, sure.
I will spend a momentum.
Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of it.
Come on.
Drag and drop.
It's there. Okay.
There it is.
It didn't look like it wasn't picking. It wasn't I did anyway.
You got it.
Probably my fault. Okay. The one that's that. And is it DC 1?
For this, it's DC 2.
Okay.
No, you're using discipline. It's DC 1. The other stuff would have been DC 2. Sorry.
Okay.
Nice.
1 success. All right, so you resisted as he's essentially that's your parry for this attack. So that's all you needed. So he stares at you, and you can feel it, and it's almost like he's starting to this glowing gaze of his is starting to like corrupt your soul. But then you just kind of steel yourself and like look back at him and take no effect of it.
I like to think that Kett looks at Cornelia first.
Okay.
And like that's what centers him, and he stares back at Xirus.
All right. Now it is the player characters.
Cornelia would like to go first.
Yeah.
Cornelia is going to scream at Varg and Adama and say, "That's my dad," and point to my dad. And then yell, "We need to destroy the sarcophagus." And I'm going to point at the sarcophagus, and then if I have any other action left, I'm going to grab the staff.
Okay.
And start fumbling with my necklace and see if I can figure out a way to smush them together.
That would be a lore check to see how.
My goodness! Love lore checks. All right, DC 1,
Yep.
DC 2.
DC 1.
I have a trauma though.
Yep. So that would make it DC 2.
So I'm gonna use a momentum,
Okay.
and then I will roll.
Oh, you added instead of drop.
Shoot, I'm sorry. I will use one, and then I will use another.
There you go.
And then
You can use. I mean, you can use more than one momentum for sure.
sure, I'll use
Let's-
another.
Yeah,
Like
very-
use all of them. If
very
you
likely
can.
you're
Like,
gonna
let's
generate
make
them
this
anyway.
work.
Okay. So then, how many dice is that?
That you added 2 momentum, so you're gonna have 4 dice. There you go. You got 3 successes, so you generated 1 momentum.
Okay.
All right, so as you're looking at it, you're like, okay, it's kind of intuitive as to how it fits together, because the end that you're looking at quite clearly was the end that this originally fit on. So as you're looking at it, you know exactly how it fits together, and in doing so, you just kind of touch it together in the right spot, and it just kind of clicks and goes together, and you can feel just in like your wrist how you can feel it starting to generate energy. Varg, your axe, the symbol on it starts to glow in a golden light, and you can see as Cornelia has done this, that the haft of your axe at the bottom, the way it was never really like, it was never really like cleanly cut or shaped. It was actually a little jagged at the bottom. It's worn down, but you can see that where the stick that Cornelia is holding at the on the bottom end of it, you know just that it would match if you were to put it together.
Oh.
Do I have to fit the whole thing together?
Your lore check was good enough. You do not. As long as the headpiece and at least was attached to most of the staff, you could do what you need to do.
Cornelia would not have been able to use the staff if the axe was attached to it. She'd be like, drag it everywhere. Link not having the gloves on, trying to move stuff like.
I love it.
Do you want to spend 2 momentum to go again?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. Go ahead and
All
spend your
right.
2 momentum.
2
All right.
momentum. Yeah. I want to funnel as much 17-year-old traumatized rage as Cornelia can summon to fuck up that sarcophagus.
Do it.
Okay. So you run up to the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
All right.
The sarcophagus was open, correct?
It is not open,
Okay.
but you can the way that it is arranged.
I thought there was a hand. I thought the staff was sticking out of something, like something was holding it sticking out.
Oh,
of the
you know what?
sarcophagus.
You're right. So yeah, the sarcophagus lid is slightly ajar, and there was a hand inside it. So yeah, you don't have to go open the sarcophagus. It's like whatever's in there is exposed.
Okay.
So you run up to it, and what you see as you're running up to it is you can see that there is this mummified creature inside, and there is a purple light like pulsating through it, almost like you're seeing its circulatory system, except instead of blood, you're seeing some sort of purplish like ooze. Like luminescent ooze going through it, and as this is happening, you can see that the flesh is starting to knit and grow.
Stab through the heart.
All right, so that is a melee attack, Cornelia.
Oh, jeez,
Oh.
Louise.
Yeah. For all the marbles, Cornelia,
Use the momentum.
you can use the
Use
you have
the
you have
momentum.
a fortune point. You have 2 fortune points sitting there.
I will use a momentum.
And a
I
fortune
will
point.
use a fortune point.
Is there a limit to how many you can spend at once?
You can only spend 1 fortune point. Now, you're doing it for the roll, Morgan, so don't click the green button, click the dice button.
Dang it. I'm sorry. Okay.
There you go. Yep. So you spend a momentum, you spend a fortune point, you're doing a melee attack, and you're trying to strike a corpse that is not moving in front of you. But you have a trauma, correct?
Yeah, so is it DC 2?
So it is DC 1. Normally it would have been DC 0.
Okay, DC 1. I'm rolling 3 dice.
You should be rolling. Well, you should be rolling 4 dice because you added a momentum. So
Right.
in the fortune.
Okay.
So make sure you have 4 dots lit.
All right. The one and only time she's made a melee attack in this
She's got
campaign.
Yes. Come on.
2 momentum.
3 successes. You generate 2 momentum. You come in with the staff. Are you going like your emblem end down, or are you going stick end down? Just that doesn't really matter. I'm just for looks.
The visual
I
flair.
think she's gonna go for the jagged ends of the staff down first,
Okay.
and the cinematic light, purple light, and the candlelight and the spectral blue glowing, glinting off the top of the wolf symbol, and just straight down.
Okay. So like staking a vampire. You just come in and stick it right through the middle of its chest. And you see the milky white eyes of this creature kind of open up for a moment. You see its mouth kind of scream in like a silent scream, and like gnarled fingers just kind of go bonk bonk against your chest as you're like driving this deeper and deeper into it, and just kind of slowly just starts to shrivel again, and you can see that the purple pulsing light is starting to dim.
Cornelia, in a representation of all the times she's seen Varg fight, is just gonna like primally scream in his face.
Yes.
Are you going to give us an example of that?
Yeah.
I live in an apartment and babies
Okay.
live below me, so I will not scream. But it is
Understood.
A primal, grief-stricken, traumatized teenager like war scream.
All right. So, and the rest of you, what you see is this horrible, like, purplish light just emanating from this sarcophagus as Cornelia is doing this. The spectral wolf had stopped in its tracks. It was going like a beeline for the person on the throne, and then stops and looks over in the direction of the at the sarcophagus. And what you see is the person on the throne just kind of start to convulse, and you can see that this purplish haze is being like sucked out of him, and the wolf intercepts this haze, this mist that's coming out, and you can see them start to blend together, and they just kind of start to slowly evaporate, and you can hear this like distant howling in the background. And then the person on the throne slumps forward, the helmet falls off their head, dum, 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 down the stairs. Cornelia, you're primally screaming in this thing's face, and the light fades and the light fades, and then you hear very weakly, "Corny."
I'm gonna drop the staff and run to my dad.
And that's where we'll end it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So we are definitely out of time for this episode. Before we do our final trip around the table, though, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you players. You are amazing. You've been awesome for this. It's been an absolute pleasure to play this game with you. So thank you so much.
No, you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now let's go ahead and go around and let everyone know where you can be found. We'll start. We'll go in the same order that we kind of came in here. So let's start with Varg.
All right, hello. I played Varg, the Asgardian barbarian who realized all of their dreams, and wow, you know, what's out? Like, what's left after this? He slayed a two-headed wolf. There's only going down, but nonetheless, my name has been B. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda, or if you want to follow me on Twitter, or what's the other social media? Instagram. I really only post about my dog. Add an extra underscore to my name at the very end, and you can follow me there.
All
I
right.
can vouch that it's wonderful content on his Instagram. I'm always very happy to see the dogs.
Thank you.
My name is Morgan. I played Cornelia, who lost so many family members, but got one back. And you can find me on Twitter at ThistleRaven. You can also find me at TI_pod, where I run the Taking Initiative podcast Twitter. We just released our 35th episode for our Storm King's Thunder campaign. Please check it out. And you can also find me on Gamers Table. Not next Tuesday, I won't be there, but you should tune in anyway, because we're going to have our next mission of Star Trek.
That's right.
Where I play Gideon Salt.
And next we have Adama.
All right. Well, this was an amazing end to this chapter. My name is Leslie, and I was playing Adama tonight. You can find me on Twitter at @LeslieGMGirl. And you can find me next Tuesday in Star Trek. Boldly going. And super looking forward to that. But this has been just such a pleasure. I've loved playing with all of you guys, and this was wonderful, Eric. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Kett.
Hey everybody, Michael playing Kett tonight, and it's been an honor to play Kett again with this wonderful group of people. It was every episode was fun. You guys have been fantastic, and hopefully get to play with you all again sometime soon. Yes. You can find me on Twitter at losermlw and Instagram with the same. Mostly pictures of nature walks and food, but you know, once in a while, some role-playing game stuff. You can also find me on the Redemption Podcast. It's a Star Wars actual play. We just released episode 3 of our 6th season, and it's a great show. That's at Redemption Pod, and you can see me here at in Other Gamers Table Productions.
All right. And I'm Eric. I've been the GM, and I'm also the GM of the Star Trek Adventures live stream, and the GM of the Resting Glitch Face Shadowrun podcast. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. Thank you again to the players. Have a good night, everybody.